The Obama administration is reviewing counterterrorism policy after 2 innocent hostages died in a CIA drone attack on an al-Qaeda compound. President Obama called the attack a deadly mistake. One of the victims is Warren Weinstein, an American aid worker held captive for 3.5 years. This morning, Weinstein's wife is slamming the U.S. government. Jeff Pegues is in Washington with how she is not alone in criticizing response to hostage takers. Jeff, good morning.
Good morning. The U.S. government policy on paying ransoms for hostages is simple. It doesn't. The next steps are more complicated, though, and after a string of Americans dying in captivity, some families and lawmakers say the government's methods are failing.
In the fog of war generally, and our fight against terrorists specifically, mistakes, sometimes deadly mistakes, can occur.
President Obama acknowledged on Thursday that a drone strike in Pakistan accidentally killed 2 hostages, including American aid worker Warren Weinstein. For many, the admission seemed all too familiar. Another American hostage dead instead of rescued. In a statement, Weinstein's wife, Elaine, said the U.S. government had been inconsistent and disappointing during the 3.5 years her husband was being held hostage. She wrote, "We hope that my husband's death and the others who have faced similar tragedies will finally prompt the U.S. government to take its responsibilities seriously."
I think the government could have done a lot more.
The parents of slain journalist James Foley, who was killed by ISIS last year, felt their case was similarly mishandled.
Our government needs to have a clearer policy and be more upfront about what they can and cannot do, or will and will not do.
Some lawmakers agree. Shortly after the news of Weinstein's death broke, Congressman Duncan Hunter issued a statement saying his death is further evidence of the failures in communication and coordination between government agencies tasked with recovering Americans in captivity.
I think that the families being treated in the way that they are is actually an indicator of a lack of functionality of what's going on behind the scenes with the government.
On Thursday, the White House addressed its current hostage negotiation protocols.
In the aftermath of a situation like this, it raises legitimate questions about whether additional changes need to be made to those protocols.
One area of division is the U.S. government's refusal to pay ransoms to terrorist organizations, something other countries are more willing to do.
I think there's a difference between having a conversation and making a concession. The U.S. government should not be afraid to have conversations. It appears that we are.
In November, President Obama ordered a review of how the U.S. handles these types of hostage situations. 5 months later, that policy review is still underway. Charlie?
Jeff, thanks.